I'm Anne Marie. This is me trying to teach people how to make those little wool angels. I followed a video that was not in English to learn how to make it. It was the only one that I could find with instructions, just to learn some of the finer details. So this is going to be a video about making a basic wool angel. Like this. Okay, these are some of the little ladies that I made. They don't have faces. That's the idea. It's the style. I think it's pronounced Waldorf. It's so the person who's playing with it can put their own emotions into the face. Let's make this angel. We have a pipe cleaner. I'm going to fold it in half. This is how we're going to attach the head to the pipe cleaner. We're going to take a little bit of, this is a fleshy colored core wool that I get from, well, you know what, I'll put a list of what we need down in the comments there, down in underneath the video. This is my first one, so you gotta bear with me. I think I got some shadow going on here, but we'll try. Okay, so we need to keep this wide. We're gonna make it nice. I'm pulling from the center, pulling it apart, and I'm going to attach the head. By wrapping it around. I'm trying to find the best place for you to see it. It's strange, not looking. Look, I'm looking at the camera screen and not the my fingers. So I guess I'll have to get used to watching the screen while I'm making the angel. There. That helps, right? It's a little better lighting. Okay, so now it's attached, so there's no way the head is coming off this pipe cleaner. So I'm going to fold it in half again, like that, and then I'm going to start wrapping it around this way. Let me if I adjust the light so you can see. I'm making a head shape, you know, I mean, visualize what you want your head shape to be and try to get it to that point. And wrap it around as tight as you can, as wide as you can. If it becomes too much of a, there we go. If it becomes too thin, it doesn't wrap around right like this one. See what happened there? So if that happens, now the quarter is there so you can see the size of the head. You know, you poke at it a little bit, get the shape back the way that you want it. That wasn't so hard. Now start wrapping it up again so you get the head the right shape. And like I said before, pull it tight. Bring it down from the top. want the head to be too long. Needle felt. This is a spiral, very sharp. You gotta be careful you don't get your fingers. Some people will bleed. Once the blood gets on the core wool, it will spread and soak up all your blood. So try not to poke yourself. Be very careful. Respect the needle because you're poking at this thing really, really fast. But at the same time, you got to be mindful of where you're putting the needle. You don't want it to. I guess that looks like a little chin. Yeah. Push that in there. Now you're going to be attaching hair later, so this, you still want this to be firm, this little piece here. And I really think you're going to like making this angel. I do. Okay, so once you get this nice and firm, I'm going to turn off my camera and firm it up a bit, so you don't have to watch me doing that for a long time. And you can pause the video too, get your head to where you want it to be, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, the head is reasonably firm now, and see the quarter, so it's about yay big compared to the quarter. And these are my, I folded this way to make, they look like elbows, but they're not the elbows. These are actually going to be their hands. So I'm going to unfold one, pull it out this way a little bit. Make it right about there. You know, about where you would think the palm would be away from the head. You know, I mean, this is the head. Okay, so here, now I'm going to use, this is actually closer to finishing wool. This is a merino, and it's shiny, and we're going to use this on the hands. We're going to use it later to finish the face. The core wool just felt faster than this, but this is a pretty shiny finishing wool. So I'm going to pull a flat piece out from the center. Well, that's probably enough to make one hand. That's probably more than enough to make one hand. But you know what? I'm going to pull out another piece almost exactly like that for the right hand. Well, I don't know. Am I working on the right hand or the left hand? I don't know. Anyway, so to make to make the right hand, maybe it is the left hand. I'm going to hold it here, and I'm just going to, again, wrap it tightly. This is kind of important. So you just kind of twirl the pipe cleaner, wrap it tightly, and then wrap it back in the other direction. Try to keep it flat. We don't want it the wrap thin, wide and flat, because then that'll happen. There we go. Wide and flat. Go back one more time. And then I'm going to close it. I'm going to wrap it some more. I'm going to go up the arm a little bit. Just till it's all gone. There's one arm. Can you see it? Okay, I moved my sponge. What it actually is the inside of a dining room chair cushion. The tags ripped and it was too much work to replace it, but I pulled out the foam that was inside. Now I know a lot of people look for things to needle felt on, not to damage their furniture, but here, I'll pull it back. I gotta tell you that this foam is honestly the best thing that I've ever needle felted on. I've heard people use all kinds of things, but this is the easiest for me. It's just the inside of a chair cushion. So I did my arms like I showed you, and here's the quarter for the head size, and you can see that the head is done and the pipe cleaners are folded in, making the little hands. Next we're going to start working on the sleeves, and you need to know what color you want your dress to be. My dress today is going to be, I think blue. Blue tends to be where I go the most. As you can tell, maybe the blue isn't going to show in this background so much, but we'll see how it'll work out. So I'm going to grab a little bit of dark blue. So I pulled off a little bit. Now you know how I wrapped the arms here. I'm going to start wrapping around the neck. So she's going to have a little turtleneck. I bet that surprised you, huh? Okay, so pull it tight. I'm going to give it a little twist and then start wrapping it. And again, try to keep it flat and don't, so this is flat. And keep it tight. Now you have a little leeway here right next to the neck because the dress shoulder puffs there are going to kind of hide this. So as you work down, try to get it to a nice flat ribbon kind of pull. Do you remember making the cornstalk dolls or the paper dolls back in the 80s? I might be showing my age, but essentially what we're doing is making the dolls like those paper dolls. Those crinkle paper dolls, they used to sell that crinkle paper everywhere, and people would make wreaths out of it. Of course, I made dolls. I'll see how that's covering up to the wrists there. go. We're going to pull it back. And if you wrap it around tight, you're not going to have to needle felt it. And it's important to wrap it around tight. Let's do the other side. I'm gonna put her down. I'm gonna pull a little more off. I'm gonna wrap it around the neck like I did before and go down the other arm. Now I'm going to pause it and do that so I can bring it a little closer to my eyes, and you can do yours too. Head and her hands and her arms both wrapped. You wrap them tightly. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to pick a wool to be the dress, the main color of the dress. And this is kind of a long piece. This is probably about 12 inches long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it in the center. I'm going to make a hole in the center of it. Can you see the hole in the center? And it's quite simple. I'm going to stick her head through. Just like, remember those dolls that I was talking about a little earlier? And pull the wool away from her face. See, and right now it's a little long. And let me see if I could pull the camera back a little. There. It's a little long. That's okay, we want it a little long. But we're gonna do some stuff with the color. We're going to add a little more color to this lady. Let's put a little bit of green in there. After all, she is a fairy, so I got some green. And pull it a little bit. I'm going to put that over her head too. Already kind of been separated a little bit, but there you go. Now before I get too much further, I want to add some more dark blue. I'm going to put the hole in the center and put her head through. Well, there's a lot of dimension there and color, right? Okay. Make sure that the blue sticks out. I want to take this piece that I pulled off the blue, and I'm going to take it and tie it really tightly just under her arm, so that's like an empire waist. Just kind of works out nicely that way. See, I'm tying a knot. See how it makes the shoulders? Down like that. I'm going to use my little cat brush. I'm going to pull. I'm not pushing into it at all. I'm just kind of like raising it along the top. It's pulling out a little bit, but it makes it more smooth. Smooth is the answer. And here's the back. I'm going to do it alongside the back too. Actually, maybe this is a prettier front. What do you think? I kind of like the way the colors are doing their thing in the front here and the back. So I'm going to pull a little bit of this blue out because I think her skirt is a little too long. But we leave it long, so when it gets pulled at the end, it'll make this nice shape. Pull a little more out. I'm going to open it up. I'll separate it there a little bit. Pull a little more out here. I'm going to pull a little more out here. Now I'm going to take everything that I pulled out and put it back in the center. I'm going to needle felt that. You got to be careful where you're needle felting that because it will probably poke through. Okay, so if you press it down like this, your fingers between, and pull it like this. I'll get the fibers reattached, flip up the center a little bit. Now, I'm just poking away. Be careful again not to poke yourself, because poking yourself hurts a lot, believe me. Oh my goodness. Who here has sewn their finger into a sewing machine? That's always fun. See how that fluffs up her skirt a little bit? And then you just mess with it. Pull it straight. Use the brush. You use a comb too. And like I said, you don't pull it in too much, because if you pull it in too much, you're just gonna ripping the whole thing apart. I like the way it's doing that. I'm going to add a little yellow. I think that'll be sharp. How's that looking? It's hard for me to tell how the camera's seeing this. I'm just needle felting that right in there. Twist. Twist and poke. Twist and poke, shove it right in there. So this is my very first video. I'm planning on making others. It's been an interesting journey getting this far. Pulling out loose ends down here at the bottom. Figuring out how to make this video. By any means, this is not a professional video. So she's stuck, so you just kind of pull her up, flatten that out. I'm going to use this to blend that a little bit. This is the back. This is where the wings are going to go. Pull it a little more out. There. There. Okay. let's make some wings. I'm going to put her aside for a second. The wings don't have to be white. A lot of times they are white because the ones I make are white. I don't know, they don't have to be though. You can use many different colors. You can add things in to make them sparkle. Change the color a little bit. Let's put, this is just a little bit of white natural merino. It's so soft. Let's add a little bit of, you want to add a little bit of green to that? Well, that's actually kind of pretty, isn't it? I'm going to put some green here. Green here. I'm going to hold my fingers. I'm going to poke this baby. Poke it in the center. And pull it. Pull and poke. Now it's important not to take this. I'm going to use a regular thing. When you're needle felting, I may have said this earlier, don't push down on to bend the needle. Like sometimes when you're sewing, you'll push up. So this is a long needle. So don't, if this were my needle felting needle, you don't want to bend it when you poke it in, because the needles for the needle felting are very brittle and they could break and the tip can fly off and hurt your eyes, hurt an animal. I'm saying too much anyway. I'll have to get over that. So what I'm going to have to do is continue to just poke down the center of my wings. I'm thinking she's going to need a little bit of blue in there. I'm just going to add some blue to my wings like that. I think it'll be pretty. So I'm going to separate my and just poke a lot. It shouldn't take too long. You can do a double poke. If you have one of these babies, this is a 8-prong. You just kind of poke a lot, and it gets done faster than that way. They're kind of neat little things. Oh, here it is. It's kind of a weird thing to do. Feeling my way, learning my way as I go. I'm not sure, but I'm planning on making a craft a week. And we'll see how it works out doing that, if it's a little frustrating. I do need to learn how to stop saying that actually never used to be a problem for me. So here's my wings. Honestly, angel wings can go down or up, and it's the fairy wings. Fairies, I mean, this isn't always so, but in nowadays kind of art, you know, the pretty fairy paintings you see, fairies frequently have more butterfly-like wings than they used to. I mean, historically, I guess fairies didn't have wings. Best I can tell from my research. I've done quite a bit of research into fairies. So there's my wings. That's the front. See, right there? It's hard for me to tell. I hope the camera's getting this nicely, because the screen I'm looking at is going dark. So I'm going to turn the whole thing over like that. And I'm going to use a single because I don't want to poke it through too much, because it could go to the other side. There. I think my camera's moving on me. The weight of the camera on the stand is making the camera bend down. So this is basically just attaching the wing to the body we just made. There. And there's the front. And now I'm going to make her hair. I'm going to pause it a second, readjust the camera, and gather my supplies for the hair. Okay, here's some light brown wool that I'm going to use for her hair. What I'm going to do is I'm going to separate it. I'm going to take about a third. I'm not going to pull it all the way apart. Let's separate it like that. It surprises me sometimes. Some people don't know how to braid. Well, I'm going to teach you basically your basic braid. I'm going to take this guy, hold it down with that. Alright, so you take the right and put it over the center. Oh, there's a little piece of hay. Put the left side over the center, right side over the center. Sometimes you sit and you think, and you're like, now this is very pretty. It's very pretty, but you know what? The braid doesn't have that much dimension. I think I'm going to add a little bit of blue to the braid. I think it'll just be beautiful. It'll look like our fairy. I'm going to call her a hydrangea fairy. My hydrangeas currently don't have very much pink in them. Let's call her a hydrangea fairy for the purposes, because it's my fairy and I can do that. And I'll take a picture with her later with my hydrangea. I'm going to needle felt my blue into, it's like more of a blue blend. If you look carefully, there is blue and pink and some green in there, and it's kind of soft. And I'm just needle felting it there. And we're making the wig for our doll. And again, I'm going to take the left, put it over the right, right, put it over the center. I'm going to take the left, put it over the center. I'm going to tack it down just a little bit. Gives that braid a little bit of dimension so it doesn't just blur into one thing here. Right over center, left over center, right over center, over center, right over center, left. Gotta make sure the color shows. Left over center, right over center. I didn't want to show on that one. That's okay. Left over center. Let's twist it so it does show. There, that one will show. There. I'm going to comb that out a little bit. I'm going to pull this blue out. I'm going to put it here and tie a little knot. It's kind of a small piece to make a knot. There we go. Needle felt that down. Let's pull over the angel. It's upside down. And we're going to put it on her head. So let's see, I want this side to be showing, so I want her braid to be in front. I want to put it like this, and I'm just going to wrap it around her head and needle felt that down. Let's start on the side here. Now you'll see that this is why you want the head to be firm, because if your head wasn't needle felted firm, you're going to have a hard time attaching her hair. Now you kind of twist it up and make it look like a really pretty hairdo that your fairy might want to wear. You can even do like a French twist or a beehive, or you can use those little curly fibers that you get from I don't have any here. Here, let me pause it. I'll go get some. If you're lucky, you can get these little curly fibers. They make great hair. That would look really pretty, wouldn't it? I'll have to make some like that later. But sometimes if you're lucky, you can find places that sell these little curls of hair. Of course, you could give her a little pixie cut too if you want. I mean, I seem to have noticed that most people that I have taught want to have their angel to have the long braid. That definitely seems to be what most people want. But that's just what I've come across. It doesn't mean that, you know, you don't want your angel. Your angel can look however you want. And that's the beauty of making it ourselves. We can use whatever colors we want, whatever wools we want, whatever styles. Some people do mix in yarn. I'd practice with that. Different yarns, acrylic yarns, or can work too. I would practice with them though. I wouldn't make any guarantees about that. There's she's still got this little tuft up here. We're gonna take it and twist it really close to her head. a roll. Make sure your hands are clean. I guess I probably should have said that a long time ago. Cutting the ribbon. I'm going to use a fancy long needle here and thread the ribbon through. Pull it through her head. Not all the way through. Put the needle away. Tie a string. Be able to hang her. Okay, I'll show you a picture of her hanging in the hydrangea bush in just a second. Okay, there she is outside. We're outside. It's raining a little bit, so I'm probably going to get her inside. Like the video, follow me. I promise to be sharing some new things. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride.